Hello, unstoppable real estate investors. I'm Rihanna Starr, and this lovely lady is my guest, Christina.
Koljonen.
Say it again,
Koljonen.
Koljonen, because
Yes.
it's spelled. I knew I wasn't gonna
Yeah,
get
it's the J. It's Finnish, so the J
it.
is
Okay,
it's that. Yes.
finished. Okay, so Christina's my guest. Today is Friday, uh, March 24th. And she's in my member spotlight for today. And I'm just delightful to have you. You're so vibrant and
Thank you.
happy and just got such a buoyant presence. It's so nice.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Appreciate that.
so every week on Fridays at noon, we do these podcasts. We're recording them right now because no matter what I do to fix the technical issues I have with Zoom and Facebook, even putting people who are good at technology on it, that it is what it is right now. So we're recording and posting the recordings. Please keep watching us. This problem will be fixed eventually. And I'm just having to weather the storm until then. All right. So Christina, I'm really happy you took me up on my invitation to be on the podcast. The whole purpose of the Member Spotlight podcast is to get members in the community getting to know each other, to spotlight up and coming real estate investors. Maybe you haven't hit rock star status yet, but it's just to get you out, get your face out there, get you known, and also to just provide any support you need in the way of coaching or support or guidance in your journey as a newer investor. And so,
Yes.
first, I want to find out is tell us a little bit about you. Like, what were you doing before real estate investing?
Before I got into real estate investing, I was actually living in Florida with my husband, and we do have a few investment properties, but they're overseas. We have a condo in Thailand. We have a home in Finland, and we have a commercial property also in Finland. We do a lot of traveling because my husband also has a business over there. So my parents are in Florida. So I was working before I got into this. I was in Florida. I was working with special needs children, which I loved. But let's face it, it wasn't going to make me financially stable. As much as I love my job, I love the children, and I do miss them. It wasn't going to make me. It wasn't going
Isn't
to make
it
me good.
unfortunate that the jobs like teachers and cops and those people that really um, take care of us
Mhm.
don't get paid well? I just
Yeah.
and yet movie stars and celebrities are paid insane, athletes are paid insane amount of money to entertain us, but the people that take care of us aren't paid well at all. I just think that says something about our society and our values. So thanks.
It's true, and I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and they work in drama. They're speech pathologists, but I mean, a lot of the children I worked with, they're elementary, and they were nonverbal, and you really have to have so much patience, and they're so innocent, and God bless them, they're just so sweet. I can't imagine not being able to communicate verbally. It's all just like with hugs and we're not supposed to hug the children. If a child's coming to me and hugging me, I'm going to hug them right back. That's their way of showing their love to me. So I just loved it. But again, it wasn't a job where I could retire and live with the way I want to live. I want to travel with my husband, and that wasn't gonna, unfortunately, with the pay, it wasn't gonna give me that freedom, that financial freedom.
Someone's
So,
joining us. Someone's taking me up
oh
on
yay!
join us. Yeah. So keep going. So you were teaching special needs and
Yeah,
it wasn't going to make you rich. And
right,
so
right. Yeah.
you um so then what? And I know you're missing
Uh,
kids and all that.
Yeah,
So
it was really hard because I still miss them. They're just so sweet. And it was so much fun, because every day is just different, and it was just lovely. But my husband and I, we want to be financially free. We just he's like, well, he's like, that's not gonna. He's like, you work so hard, and it was really draining. I would come back home from work just completely drained, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know, he's like, this doesn't look like it's very healthy for you, but so we decided that well, why don't we start investing? Because my husband came across, I think on YouTube, Pace Morby.
Yeah.
And he came across him. And he's like, oh, you have to watch this guy. He's it's really interesting what he's teaching and everything. And it was about subject two, which I didn't know anything about. So we started following him. And it's so funny because initially when you think about investing, when you think about buying a property, when you think about buying a home, you think, okay, well, I need, my credit score has to be this, I need 20% down. And then, we're watching Pace and he's like, you don't need, no. He's like, no,
You don't
you don't
need
need to do any
credit,
of that.
cash, or credentials.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I was like, wait, what? And then I was like really skeptical. I'm like, I don't know about this Pace guy. I don't know. I was like, really, like, I don't, there's something just, no. And I kept watching and learning and
Well, yeah, because
reading.
Pace is like in your face, not messing around.
Yeah.
You either love him or you don't, but
Yeah. And I was like,
uncomfortable.
I was skeptical.
Yeah.
I was skeptical. I was really skeptical. Get this thing, it could scare me. Like, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And because he is charismatic and he's very like, and he's like intriguing. You're like, oh well, I want to know more. And when I found out that it was actually like legit, I was like, oh my goodness, why don't they teach? They don't teach finance. They really don't teach finances in school. They teach you, go to school, go to college, get a 9-to-5 job, work for corporate America. They don't tell you that, like in Europe, it's like they play first and they work. In America, they work, and then they have time to play if they can afford to take the time off to take the vacation, which is really it's completely different. It's kind of upsetting actually when you think about it. But a lot of people in corporate America, it's like 9-to-5, they gotta work. Oh, I can't take the vacation because I can't afford and this and that. And I'm like, that's like if you have to work so hard to take a week off.
Right.
I'm like, then you don't love your job. If you're just like, oh yeah, 3 more months, I'll be able to take my 1-week vacation. I'm like, that's like life is short, y'all. Like that's not living. I don't want to live like that. I don't think people should live like that. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't know about this, how this works. And I had no clue about it. So when I learned about it, this is something that we can really and level it fast because I'm working on single family homes. Direct to brokers, what I reach out to brokers and realtors, and my husband, he's doing more multifamily. He has a team in place for that. And we've met so many amazing people, and everyone in the community, especially sub 2 Paces community, they're so helpful, which is like amazing. It's not like, well, I have this information, I'm gonna keep it to myself because it's like my precious. It's like I don't want anyone to, I don't want anyone else to know about this. Like it's like no, I don't want to be the one to make the money. I don't want anyone else to make the money. So it's just really it's different. It's it's just like completely it's amazing. So I'm working on that. Right now I'm still
pause there for a second. All right.
Sure.
So I love that you found Pace in that community. So did you guys join Sub 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because I actually work at Start Virtual as their business process coach, and Pace is one of the owners of the company I work for.
Okay.
Cody
Great.
Barton is the CEO of Start Virtual, and him and Pace, you see Cody occasionally in the Sub 2 community. So I'm glad you found them because Pace doesn't mess around. And when you invest in his system, it's the most robust, generous. Oh my God, this is what you get, the bang for your.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely worth every penny.
Yeah, so you and your husband have divided and conquered in the areas you're each focusing on in real estate investing. So talk a little more about what you're doing specifically, and then talk a little more about what he's doing specifically. How long have you guys been real estate investors?
Last as far as here in America, last year is when he found Pace.
Yeah, and in the other investments that you had in Finland.
That's been about 15 years total. We've had all the
But it wasn't done like we're professional real estate investors.
No. The whole Thailand
vacation house,
the whole Thailand condo was a fluke. That wasn't even supposed to happen. That was just it was a like on a whim. We just went for it. I don't know what we were thinking, but it worked out. It worked out. Yeah, it was up. We didn't go to Thailand, thinking, hey, we're gonna go buy a condo. We went I took him there for his 50th birthday. I go, I want to take you to Thailand. So, because I've always wanted to go to Thailand. I'm fascinated with Thailand and Asia and all that. So I take him over there for his 50th birthday. It was really, really hot. It was too hot to be out on the beach. I go, why don't we go to a mall? Nice and cool. We could walk around. And they had a lady there, and she was representing this new condominium building there. But they have a nice little, the model and everything. It was a high rise. There's two of them. I was like, oh, do you want me to take you over there and see? She goes, we haven't broken ground yet, but we built an elevator. So they had the basic office for the sales, but they built just like an elevator, like 20 stories high, just so you can get an idea of what because it was on the ocean, on the beach. So you can see, so you can kind of get an idea of what the view would be from like a high perspective as far as like the ocean and everything. And we were like sold. We're like, yeah, we want the corner unit, but because it was all like floor to ceilings glass. And she's like, well, because we were just at the mall, we didn't have our passports on us, we didn't have really anything like our checkbook on us. So we had to like book it back to hotel. And then we're like, I think we had a credit card. We gave it a credit card. We're like, we'll put this much down to hold it. We'll be right back. We ran to the hotel. We ran back to the sales agent. And after we left, we were like, was that the biggest mistake we ever made? Because there's so many scams, especially in other countries. I'm like, we're never going to see that money again, but they actually were on Facebook, so you could see them breaking ground and building, month to month. So like, so we'd go every month on Facebook and look like, oh my God, they're building, thank God. So when all said and done, 2 years later, I think it was supposed to be done in 2 years. It was pre-construction, but I think it took an extra year. So when they emailed us saying that, you can come and get the keys, you can move in, we were literally, when I tell you, Rihanna, we were the first ones in the building. We were the first ones. So all the pools were ours, the hallways were empty. It was great. So we lived there for a year. It was beautiful. It was really nice.
You lived there full time for a year?
Yeah, we lived there for a year.
Paradise.
And when we came back to America, it was just sitting empty. And then we were learning from Pace and Grant Cardone, so we big fans of him too. Pace was saying, if you have property, it's a liability. Unless it's making you money, then it's an asset. Now I turned to my husband and go, why is our property in Thailand just sitting there empty?
Well,
we should put a renter.
Right.
Yeah, we should Airbnb the So now we have a corporate rental in there, a renter in there for like long term. So he was there for a year. They extended it for 6 months. So it's great because it's someone, working for this a company. We don't have to worry about someone trashing the place, So yeah, so it worked out. Because we're like, should we sell it? So the only downside is that it's so far to get there. It's like a 23-hour flight.
Like to be able to visit it more than
exactly. If God forbid something happens,
might as well have it be an asset making you money.
Yeah, it's not like here. I could just drive 6 hours and be in Florida and see my mom. To get on a flight from Asia, it's a lot. It's a lot. But so that was So we have that was
and then
unexpected.
And then your husband's from Finland, right?
Yeah.
So that you have a house in Finland, and you said he has a company there. What is the company, and is that where he stays? Is in the house in Finland when he's
thankfully he could his company basically it's like a leasing company where he leases employees for welding. They're basically all welders from like Poland and France and to like other parts of Europe. They weld on boilers. It's what they do. So it's a very specific niche that he has over there. So he could do everything remotely. So he gets up super early to work, via email and the phone because of the time difference, which is tough because his phone's ringing 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, really? Now I just sleep through it. I don't even hear. He's like, oh, I've been up since 3. I'm like, really? I don't even hear the phone ring. I'm just like used to it. I sleep through it. But so he could work really anywhere remotely, which is why we've been able to travel so much. So we've been fortunate. But I'd like to have a lot more passive income. It's always good to be in different, have more than less as far as properties.
And it sounds like he was in alignment with that because he found Pace Morby, you guys invested in. And so tell me what your focus is in real estate investing, what you're doing, and then we'll talk about what he's doing.
Right now we're looking at single family homes, single to like maybe quadplexes, triplexes, duplexes. Also specifically because we have we have a lot of the military bases around here for like VA people with VA loans, because they get up and they're rooted someplace else, and they buy homes, and then they're like they don't have any equity in it, or they have very little equity, and then they can't go really sell it through a traditional realtor, because then they have to write a check, and who wants to do that to sell your home? Who wants to pay someone basically to buy your home? So with the sub two, we can actually help them out if they're upside down the home, or have little no equity, or we could take over the loan, which works out for everyone. They don't lose their home, they don't ruin their credit, they don't file bankruptcy. So it really is, which is amazing, which I don't know why I never heard about.
People don't do it, right?
Right, exactly. And then it's funny because I do direct to broker, and at some realtors, I just feel like the minute you tell them sub two, they think it's a scam, or they're like, oh no,
you have to
get
educate
it. You have to try to educate them.
So are you wholesaling it to brokers?
I'm trying to find properties. That's how I find properties. Like if I see a property, I'll call them. Like, especially if the property's been sitting for a while. Like, what's the situation with this property? Why has it been sitting? Why hasn't it sold? What's the pain? What's the seller's pain? What's the reason for selling, and why has it been sitting? And so that's how I find. I go through and I find properties, and I'll call the listing agent, and I'll just try to build rapport with the realtor that way to get some properties that way. So that's what I do. So, and then my husband, he's doing.
Hold on. That's getting the property. What are you doing?
Finding a property. Yeah.
Right, but for what purpose? Are you rehabbing? Are you wholesaling?
To buy and
hold.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're both interested in building a rental portfolio. You're not
rehab. Yeah, not a full rehab. If it needs a little bit of work, yes, definitely. But if it needs a full rehab, we're not interested in that. Not at this point.
Cosmetic rehabs, light rehab. Mm-hmm. So you will do a buy, rehab, refinance, if it's not a heavy duty job.
Right.
How long have you been in Pace Morby's program, and how many rentals have you acquired, single family, since you've been in the program?
Last year, since late last year, we haven't been, because we found them late last year. So we haven't found any. We haven't bought any properties yet. So there's so much information. It's like I have, when you first
learn still about, in the learning curve,
right? We really learn about, pace, and you get into the program. It's like at first you have like shiny object syndrome. It's like, well, I want to wholesale. Well, I want to do a book. Well, I want to do fix and flip. I want to do. It's like you have to really. There's just so many ways and so many what you can do, and you just really. And at first we're like, we didn't know where to focus. We're like, well, let's do this. Oh no, but he's talking about this. Well, let's do that. Oh, well, he's talking about that. I'm like, well, let's do that. Oh, then let's Grand Cordon. Well, let's. It's like
shiny object syndrome, but you are actively looking for property.
Yes.
You are wanting to use creative financing tools.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I own the financing subject to, yes, definitely.
And Sevelin's also asked, since you and your husband have assets, and I know Pace teaches Gator lending, which is more transactional lending, but have you considered private money lending?
We did join the Gator lending. We are Gator lenders. But if someone needs EMD, we can help out with that. So reach out to me. I don't know if I gave you the website.
That's a little different than a private money lender. Like, do you guys do more than Gator lending? Like, do you lend larger amounts of?
Right now we do. Right now it's a small amounts Gator lending. We're actually looking for investors to help us, or lenders to help us.
Purchasing. Right. Yeah, because a lot of times people will get into sub two and think, I'm only going to do creative finance deals.
Right.
And I think that limits you. Because if you are working with agents, you do have to educate them. And sometimes they just don't know, it's another batch of tools to add to your tool belt, but also building up lenders, building relationships with hard money lenders and private money lenders.
Right.
They'll be open to funding deals if you can't get creative financing.
Right. That's been that's been one of the hardest obstacles right now is finding private money lenders, like, cause we're fairly new, like we have properties overseas, but as far as here in America, they're like, if we go to them and ask for money for a project, they're like, well, how many do you have under your belt here in America? What kind of assets do you have here in America? We're like, none. So that's difficult. I get it. No one wants to lend to someone if they think you're a newbie, and I get that, so that's been difficult, it's like, well, then like, how do
Well,
you, so
but
you
you
build
don't,
rapport.
that doesn't have to be a limitation. It's like preparing for that, having a private
Right,
credibility packet, having a
right,
presentation,
exactly.
showing them the assets, because sometimes a lot of private money lenders, they could be right under your nose and you don't even know it. Like I have a couple of friends that they wanted in on a deal that I'm working on, and I'm like, really? And
It's
and
true.
I'm
It's true. It's
coaching
like you
people
never
on this.
know.
But it is um getting comfortable, being prepared, one, having a credibility packet that shows, hey, we're trustworthy because my husband's got this stable business that generates income. We've got homes in Finland and Thailand, and now we're wanting to increase our assets in the United States. It's painting a picture, not letting them go, oh, well, you have nothing in America. And you're like, yeah, we have not. No, it's like painting a picture in your credibility packet and in a private money lender presentation, like putting those together. It's been very interesting to me, Christina, people I've coached, that it's really weird that this happens. As soon as you prepare your credibility packet or your private money lender presentation, it's like they start coming out of the woodworks. And I've been coaching this couple for a few months now, and they've funded a lot of their deals with their own money. And I just cringe and go, guys, we got to start getting you thinking about other people's money because it's limiting what
Right, exactly.
so I said, let's get you prepared to, you know, find private money lenders and present to them. So as soon as they create this private money lender presentation, they've never had to use it, but two private money lenders show up, and before you know it, they're funding a couple of their deals. So
Oh,
it's a
wow.
matter of the energy of that. So, just let me know in DMs if you want help with that, because
Yeah, okay,
we want
great.
to open up all avenues. Yeah, creative finance is great, but also having lenders, hard money lenders, private money lenders, being
Right,
able to go anywhere you need to go to, do a deal.
right, right.
Being able to be creative in how you're putting it together. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be all or nothing. So
Yeah.
I hear you. You're in a huge learning curve. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And so you're focused on single family residences, and your husband's focused more on multi units, so multi-family. So talk a little bit
Mhm.
about
Yeah, he is actually a team. They have a Zoom every week. They have someone who does the underwriting, someone who, the broker, someone who finds the properties. So that's working out well. It's just they got they sent out some LOIs. And yeah, so we're just waiting to hear back. But I mean, but then again, the multifamily, it takes a lot longer than like a
that. Yeah,
single family. It can take like months and months for a
yeah.
multifamily. It's such a huge deal. You're dealing with, so much money, and
And
you
there's a
got to
lot
make
of
sure
due
you're
diligence.
right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of due diligence. I mean, for basically your home, you get an appraiser, you check it out, and okay, yeah, yes, yay or nay, but with a multifamily, and then you got to think about, because I mean, the upside of it, what needs to be done, and what's, how's the roof, and it's, I mean, not talking, it's a
It's
lot of
hard
money to
when
make sure.
you're doing them by yourself. That's why a lot of people will get involved in these syndication groups
Right.
where someone else is managing the acquisition piece, and
Hmm.
you come in as an accredited investor with at least 100K, and you've got to have at least $1 million net worth, or you're
Right.
making a certain amount of money every year, is pretty standard. But a lot
Hmm.
of times that's why people will invest in a syndication that's doing all that for them,
Hmm.
because
Yes.
it's big. It's a big
Yeah, it's huge.
learning
Yeah.
curve. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it something your husband's enjoying learning and doing? And
Oh,
it,
absolutely. I would love to jump on that bandwagon, but so just the underwriting itself is just so tedious. And so I'm like, wow, that's so much information. You gotta make sure you know what you're doing when you're underwriting, because that could mean, you make it or you break, or, you fail. So that's, you really have to know. And when he's fairly new to underwriting, and he has someone on his team who's good with underwriting, thank goodness. But like he's showing me the underwriting, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, it's all Greek to me. It's all
Ooh,
Greek to me.
yeah,
I think I'm gonna go back to my single family.
my single family, simple way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't discredit that, because one single family after another, before you know it, that adds up.
Right. I need to sit with him and learn more about that, because it's fascinating. All just
And diversifying in what you're investing in helps
right.
too. Yeah,
Exactly. Right. Because
yeah.
you get one great multifamily deal, and you're pretty much set. So but he has a few out there that he's working on, and I need to keep calling direct to agent. And just educate them, and hopefully they'll want to hear what I have to say and work with me. But that's always a challenge.
Now, are you just doing all that lead generation and looking for deals yourself, or do you have a team helping you with that?
For single family, I'm doing it on my own. For the multifamily, he's using starts with a P. I can't think of the what he's using. There's a system that he'll come to me, that he's using, that generates the leads for him. And I'm also studying right now for my realtor's exam here in Georgia.
Oh,
So I
good for
take that
you.
test in early April. Yeah, so I'm still studying for that. So
Congratulations.
thank you. So
And
once
will
I
you
get,
focus on single family or both?
I would like to go into commercial, but I know there's a different test also. But I hear that because it's difficult, that most people just get the realtor's license. They just stay there. But I go, I think I might want to try to up the ante, because I think, especially if my husband wants to do multifamily, that could benefit both of us, having that license as well. So I'm definitely going to look into that.
So you
So
want
we'll
to do
see.
both residential and commercial?
Yeah, I think commercial is where
Good for you.
the money is.
And it sounds like you both are having a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, it's really good. The community is amazing. I mean, I don't know how we didn't know about Pace, that we didn't know. It's funny, like I never, because I'm on YouTube like a lot. I mean, I think everyone's on, at least once a day. Go there, I search for something, I'm looking for something or someone, and then he found Pace, and now it's just like Pace. He's like everywhere. I'm like, even on my Insta, I see him. I
Yeah.
saw this guy before, and he's all.
He's a
I
Pace is
think
a
it's
marketing machine, and he's
yeah.
does a lot of ads, and
Yeah,
yeah, he's very good.
it's great,
Yeah.
right? But I think it's also the algorithm, how it works, because they think if you start searching for them, it
Well,
starts
it's
bringing up more.
psychodemographics. Once you
Right,
start searching, yeah, you'll start seeing
right.
more of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest challenge for you guys in learning about real estate investing?
At first, it was focusing on one area. That was the most, because there's just so much information. Pace has. And then you're like, well, maybe we should do multifamily. Maybe we should do rehab. Maybe we should do a burn method. Maybe we should do wholesaling. It's just like, okay, we need to focus. We need to just focus on something, because otherwise you're like Sybil. You're like you're all over the place. I was like, at least that's how I felt. Like I'm like it's like focus, Christina, focus. So I got this. Let me get my real estate license. So I study for that a few hours a day. That I get some leads. I'll call realtors, and like that's my system right now. And get up early, go to the gym, just so I could wake myself up. Otherwise, I need to just get the blood flowing. But I have a system right now. It's working well. So yeah. So the focusing, that was a big challenge, because the Pace had just abundance of information out there. And right now it's just finding because my husband's just now getting into multifamilies, finding private money lenders. And I'm sure that will come with time once we get everything really together, and I'm sure they'll come. I know they'll come.
Good. Good. Well, you're new into it, and
Yeah.
I love your enthusiasm, and
Thank you.
you and your husband are doing it together, and you're dividing and conquering. I love that you found Pace, and just don't get tunnel vision. Open up to all avenues of doing a deal. And
Yeah.
if you need any guidance or help with that,
Yeah.
please just reach out to me in the DM and we can,
Yeah.
that's what I do is I coach real estate
Yeah.
investors specifically in the business of getting more focused and grounded and taking it step by step.
Right.
So
Right.
if you
Awesome.
have like a coach, one coach who can help you navigate all that, and you
Right.
feel like you need that just for grounding, I'd be happy to help you. So
That'd be
just
awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah. I
yeah.
also joined JJ's network in Facebook.
Yeah.
I've been so busy, but I haven't been on lately. But I'm glad I found him pretty quickly because I was trying to market like like our website, business. And then JJ was like, no, he's like, you need to market yourself. He's like, people will work with people they like. I'm like, you know what? That's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because who wants
Yeah.
to work with
And
someone with no pleasing personality? No,
yeah, you
I'm sure
have
they
to, it can be overwhelming when you get into
Yes.
this industry on where to start. And that's what I do as a coach is I'm a GPS system. I'm helping you navigate. I'm helping
Right.
you get grounded. I'm helping you take it one step at a time and build. So you're not overwhelmed and you're not doing this and now over there. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's something that appeals to you. We can talk more one-on-one.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
not,
Yeah. And we're not huge on social media. Like I got off Facebook in 2017. I just recently got on back on a few years ago. So we have like really like no friends. People have thousands and thousands of friends. So we're not really, like promoting ourselves. It's because I'm actually really, really shy by nature. So this is really out of my comfort zone. Like if
that's
I'm in front
surprising because you're so vivacious
I'm
and
kind of glad this isn't like live because I feel like, oh my God, I want people to look at me. But
well, let me ask you this. If just being fairly new, you've been at this, what, 6, 7 months, maybe about that?
Yeah.
If you had a captive audience
Oh
and
my
you
God.
jump up on a rooftop and share your message, your wisdom, something that you would want to have an impact on people, what would that message be?
Invest in yourself.
Mm,
Invest in yourself. Spend the money in the program. Spend the money in the seminar. Surround yourself with like-minded people, people who want the same things, people who are thinking the same way. Because otherwise, unfortunately, there's friends and family that will bring you down. If they hear or see that you're succeeding, and that's really sad. Because I've seen that happen with people. I go, and they should be your biggest
just
supporters.
fear. They don't, I think some of it can be jealousy, but a lot of times it's just fear. Like sometimes their intentions are good. Sometimes they aren't. It's just jealousy and insecurity.
Yeah. It's like, buy a book, like at the gym, I don't listen to music. I listen to Greg Cardone, or I listen to one of Pace's videos, or I'm reading Napoleon Hill, or I'm listening to Napoleon Hill.
So
Because
what
nobody has time to sit down and read. I could put my earbuds in, I could clean the house, I could do laundry, I could iron, and there goes the whole book.
thank God for Audible books. And
Thank goodness.
that says a lot about you, Christina, having a growth mindset. And what's going to happen is you will find as you guys become more and more successful at this, that you're going to outgrow people in your life. And so don't be uncomfortable. I'm not going to tell you don't be. I'm just going to say it can be difficult to let go of people because of loyalty, or they've been around, or their family, or they're a friend. But there's a point where if you want to fly like an eagle, don't hang out with turkeys, that you do outgrow people in order to grow, and not letting people guilt trip you or keep you small because they're uncomfortable with your success.
That's true. That's true. There was a CD set that we had. I think it was 14 CDs, and it was called Your Wish. Your Wish is Your Command. Your wish is my command. And he said that in the next 5 years, your income will be the average of those 5 people that you keep closest to you. And I'm like, whoa, that was. And he said your teachability index you have to always be learning. You have to always have goals and dreams. That's how you grow. He said you have to have a dream. You have to have goals. So that's what I was shout out. Always have a dream. Always have a
I love
goal.
that.
Teachability index. Have an open mind. And
Love
just you
that.
just have to grow and just and invest in yourself. Spend the money, because I was like, oh, I was like, you know what? Go for it. Let's go for it. Just do it. Let's do it. So it was the best thing I ever
So,
did.
good segue. Take action. No
Yep.
excuses to get results.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christina, for being my guest. You're lovely. You're vivacious.
Thank you. I'm a talk. I talk really fast when I get excited. So
That's okay. Stay in
hopefully you can
touch.
understand me.
Stay in touch. Reach out to me if you want someone to help you navigate through things. That's what I do. I work with investors who are wanting to scale, wanting to get more organized, wanting to treat it like a business, and help them focus and scale and approach the business by developing processes and systems, habits and routines, and helping with the mindset and holding you accountable to get really grounded in building something. So if that appeals to you, reach out to me in a DM.
Sounds awesome. Sounds great.
Thank you, Sevelin, for joining us. She's been chatting in the chat box. Sevelin does private money lending. She
awesome.
also
Great.
helps people with that. So, and she's just been very engaged. It's been lovely to have her here. And for those of you who are watching, we are shifting the format a little bit and offering you to join us live on these Zooms to be part of the podcast. So I want to thank Sevelin and Christina for being with me today. And I want to thank all of you for continuing to watch our podcast. We have Mindset and Marketing Mondays with me and Rufus on Mondays at 6 p.m. in our group, being recorded until my technical difficulties get resolved. Wednesdays, we have Top 5% podcast at noon Eastern. And Fridays, we have the Member Spotlight podcast at noon. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Maybe have me back in 6 months. 6 more months. We'll see.
Love it. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.